I am Juanita, and I am going to present my talk, Scientific Python from GitHub to TikTok. These are my co-authors. Some of them are in the audience, so feel free to reach out to them. You can wave, hi. And yeah, their emails and my email is there if you want to reach out to us and talk about the community outreach in the Scientific Python ecosystem. So I want to introduce myself before getting started. So I am Juanita, I am Colombian. I haven't found any Colombians here. If you're Colombian, come get me. I am a mathematician. I finished my undergrad back in Colombia. I worked for some time at QuantSite as a Spider developer, mostly on documentation and community outreach. And I am now a PhD student at UC Santa Cruz in computer science. And I am a community manager for the Scientific Python project, which is what I'm going to be talking about today. And fun fact about me, I am a singer. I love to sing. That's what I do for fun most of the time. This is my contact information again. If you want to reach out to me, feel free to do so. So what is Scientific Python? So first, this is not what I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to be talking about the SciPy package. Sorry. I'm not going to be talking about the conference also. So that's not also Scientific Python today for us in our talk. So Scientific Python, it's an ecosystem for Python packages for scientific research and data analysis. It's also a community of developers, maintainers, and users of these packages in the ecosystem. And it's also a project, which is a project that I'm going to be talking about today. And I guess our goal as a project is to support the ecosystem and grow the community of these Python packages. So this is a very cool QR code that Panfil did. And that takes you to the website of the Scientific Python project. And I guess I would say the Scientific Python project is a community effort that wants to get communication between projects in the ecosystem and plan strategies to make sure that we can get like a joint future together and make this future happen. So our idea is to work with the community of the Scientific Python project to get coordination and make this joint future a possibility. So since my talk is named from GitHub to TikTok, I started with their GitHub repository of the Scientific Python project. So here we can find like everything that we have been doing in the past probably year. There's a bunch of repos there from the blog post that Panfil might talk about later, and the theme and everything that we have been doing in our GitHub repository. And I wanted to mention this, but again, Panfil will be talking about this more specifically in his talk today later, so go. But probably what you have heard the most about the Scientific Python project are the specs. So basically, this is an effort to get some cross-project policies. So these are going to be documents that are going to be called specs, which means Scientific Python ecosystem coordination documents that, I mean, the idea is for them to help most of the Scientific Python projects in the ecosystem. So they're basically going to be very similar to PEPs or NEPs, but the idea is that they cover a lot of the projects from the ecosystem, and the Scientific Python project has this idea of making this possible, and these specs are going to be like endorsed by the projects in the ecosystem. And I guess that's like probably what you have heard the most about the Scientific Python project. But this talk is not about that. So in this talk, I am going to be talking about the community efforts that we have been doing within the Scientific Python project in order to do community building and community outreach for the whole Scientific Python ecosystem. So basically, I'm going to be talking about what I have been doing as a community manager of the Scientific Python project. So why did we start doing this? Why do we want to do this? I guess my intake would be that sometimes as developers, we focus too much in writing code and sometimes not that much in community. And open source is about much more than code. So it's about communicating, teaching, collaborating. So this is what happens in conferences, right? Like we come here to share our thoughts, to communicate, to meet people, to have fun with people. So the scientific Python ecosystem especially is more about the community sometimes. And that's why we want to try to do this like community of scientific Python packages. So our goal basically is to, unify the community by promoting integration, diversity, and participation from all the packages, like the community of the packages in the ecosystem, and try to generate resources that can help to bring contributors, users, and maintainers together in the same place. So who's behind this? We are a community of volunteers from the scientific Python packages of the ecosystem. So this project was actually started by Jared Minimal, Stefan Vanderwald, and Melissa Mendoza. They are the leaders of the project. That there's a bunch of other people involved, and we are helping to make this possible and bring the community together. And right now, we have a group of core projects, which are basically some of the central projects in the ecosystem and are the ones that are helping us to endorse the specs that I just mentioned before. There's also a steering committee, which is basically the people that are in charge of making sure that they review the specs that are in progress and they can get voting and like basically determine if the specs are accepted or not. This is not like, we're not the law, we're not like enforcing anything. We just want to help. Like this is for the community. And I guess our idea of the project is to be able to help with tools and build things together. But this is not like enforcement. We just want to do this for the community. So how? The first thing that we want to do, like make possible in terms of community outreach and building its documentation. So we want that the scientificpython.org website, which is right there, is the central place for information and has resources that might help like a lot of projects from the ecosystem. So these are three things that we have been trying to do in this website. So first is orientation for newcomers. So for people that are completely new to the ecosystem that want to get involved but don't know much about the ecosystem. The second one is interviews for community introductions. I will be expanding more on these later. And then was for problem solving. I guess in terms of like general questions that arise when you start contributing to the scientific Python ecosystem. So this is our website. Most of the pages of our website are still in draft progress. But I guess we wanted to share with you what we have been doing and what our goal is with all these initiatives. This is the Learn page of our website. So the idea for this page is that it has a contributor guide, a maintainer's guide, and a community guide. And these three guides are basically resources that we want them to be helpful for the scientific Python packages in the ecosystem, like general guides. So I guess right now there's, a lot of projects in the ecosystem. Each of them has their own contributor guide. So if you want to start contributing in NumPy, but then you want to go contribute in SciPy, then you have to read one contributor guide, then another contributor guide. And I guess our idea is to have like a central place where we can gather all this information and maybe point people from each project to like this one website. So orientation for newcomers. So my idea of documentation is very crazy, I would say. So when I was doing documentation for the Spider project, I started thinking about ways of doing documentation that were different from what we have now and that we're able to help more people. So right now with new generations coming and like people learning, there's many ways that we can build material for people to learn that is not like writing guides or like websites, like written websites. So I came with this idea of making videos, and this is what I've also been doing for the Scientific Python project. So these 3 videos that you see here are something that I started doing for the contributor guide of the website. And basically, they contain information that is very general about the Scientific Python ecosystem, and they should be helpful for people who want to join the ecosystem and get involved. And they are presented in a, I guess, fun way. I invite you to go watch them. They have like very cool animations, and it's like a very different way of showing people the information that it's probably already there somewhere. But we want to make sure that we get to the people by showing them things in a different way and having the resources to help them get involved with the community. Also, the link for the playlist of the videos is right there. Interviews for community introductions. So I have been interviewing a lot of people from the Scientific Python community, and this is something that I have really loved. I have gotten to know a lot of these people I didn't even know before, and I had interviewed them, basically asking them about how they started contributing to the Scientific Python ecosystem, how they joined the community, why they joined the community, why did they stay, asking them about advice that they could give to people who come. And I guess one of the goals with these interviews is to sort of like break the breach between the users, the contributors, and maintainers, so that people can actually come and see that it is not that hard to start contributing, that we are not like up there and like they're like, we are very close. And like, if they hear stories from people that are currently NumPy maintainers, SciPy maintainers, then they're gonna like be inspired and start contributing. I mean, I guess that's what we're hoping for. So many of these people come here and they tell me like, I was in my graduate school and I was just working with these and I found this package and I found a mistake and I did a PR and apparently people liked what I did and I started contributing voluntarily, and then 6 months later they told me that if I wanted to be a maintainer. And that doesn't sound that hard if you want to do it. So I guess my idea with the questions that I've been asking these people is to get them closer to the community, to like make sure that we make people learn the stories of the people that are behind the Scientific Python packages. And I feel like this information is nowhere. Like, we know about who the maintainers are what they do and what the packages do, but we don't really know their stories. And I think knowing their stories is something that might help people come closer and come to us, start contributing, and know that they can do it too. So I guess this is one of my favorite things that we're doing. I'm hoping this is part of the community guide in our website too. Right now, they're in a YouTube channel. I invite you to watch them too. And there's a link too. So demos for problem solving. This is actually a TikTok video. So I think one of the things that we want to have in our website too is, I guess, a list of common problems that people find when they start contributing to Scientific Python. And one of the things that occurred to me was like, when I started contributing, I didn't know how to set up a remote. And I make the mistake 1,000 times. And that is something that you need to learn if you want to start contributing to any package, most likely. So you need to create a GitHub account, download Git, and like start setting up forks, remotes, and stuff. And I guess that's something that if people haven't done that before, it's very hard. So we want to have these kind of demos and videos to help people solve their issues before they start having them when contributing to a Scientific Python ecosystem. So the reason I did this in TikTok is because one of the ideas that we have is to expand our channels of communication and be able to get this information to as many people as possible. So second way that we want to do community outreach and building in our community is by a blog post. So, I mean, this is a place to share thoughts and ideas. It's going to be for all the Scientific Python packages. We want people to build knowledge together and promote like integration between people in the blog post. We want basically to be able to host different package like blog posts. So right now, the Matplotlib people decided to migrate their blog posts to our website, which is great. And we want to encourage packages to do that. And we want to host their blogs so that people can come and have a central place to learn about scientific Python packages and what people are talking about there. So this is our idea of the blog post. I think maybe Panfil would talk about that more in his talk too. And the third thing, which is honestly what I start saying I don't know what I'm doing, is social media. So for the record, I am not a social media expert. I actually started doing this for Spider when I was working there, but I am not a social media expert. I don't have any background on social media. I just like to try new things, basically. And I think that's very important, and that's what has gotten me to do these crazy things that I have been doing for the last 6 months with the Scientific Python project. So our idea of social media is to get some outreach and engagement, and basically sort of have a direct interaction with users and developers. So yesterday, in one of the VOF sessions that we had, one of the persons asked was like, so is everyone supposed to be on GitHub to get like information about the specs or about the community or something? And I'm like, that's a very good question, because maybe some of the new generations are not going to find out about these things on GitHub. Like, there's probably nowadays a very few like people that go to GitHub and are like, oh, I'm going to start contributing to scientific Python ecosystem. That probably doesn't happen that much. So our idea of social media is to get the information out and get people involved. For the record, I'm not interested, and I'm pretty sure that Jared, Stefan, and people who contacted me for this project are not interested in getting 1 million subscribers or 20,000 followers. That's not our idea. Our idea is to be able to generate useful content for the community. And if we have, I don't know, 4,000 followers, and that's as far as it gets, we are happy to know that 4,000 people are watching our content and that is useful for them. So this is our YouTube channel. I just wanted to show you how it looks right now. It has the interviews that I just talked before and the videos. Hopefully, we get more videos out there that are going to be also embedded in the website. And this is our Instagram page. So we created this Instagram page in January. So when I took these screenshots, actually, we had much less followers, and now we have like 140 followers, which is great. And basically what I have been trying to do with Instagram is to, I guess, put the information that is already out there somewhere, but in places that is more reachable to other kinds of users. So I guess in the future, the people from undergrad are going to start using the scientific Python packages. And I feel like having this information in an Instagram page is very useful for them too. This is a post that I made about 5 ways to contribute to scientific Python. And this is actually the content from one of the videos. So basically, it's very easy to just have the content that you want to like have there and present it in very different ways. This is also another example of a post that I made. Basically, it tells people that you can look in the repository of the packages for like the good first issue tag and start contributing, which is very useful to know. And this is our TikTok page, which is kind of very far from probably, I guess, what we normally do. But I guess I want to get the conversation started about let's do more things and let's reach out to more people and let's try to have more information out there about what could be done. We don't have many followers on TikTok, but I guess at some point I'm hoping that we get people to watch our content and that it is useful for them. I wanted to show you a 1-minute video. That's why we were setting up the audio. So this is a 1-minute video that I made for TikTok, sort of like gathering together some advice that the contributors for some of the scientific Python packages gave to people.
The best piece of advice that I could give is that you should definitely start by following your interests.
If you want to do a first PR, a great way to do that is to look through documentation. There's almost always something there that could be improved.
Just read code. So
find something that is fun to do with this code?
Find something that really sparks joy.
You have maybe more choices than you even know.
I think it's also important to find ways of communicating with people from the projects.
People will help you get started, so you can hit us up.
I would say be patient.
Don't be afraid.
You'll always kind of feel like you don't know what you're doing, and you probably know more than you think you do, or maybe it doesn't matter, right? It's learning.
Any and all help is appreciated from the maintainer, so don't count yourself out before you get started.
Thank you. So last question I'm going to answer is where? So where can you find us? This is all our list of social media handles. If you do have Instagram or TikTok, please follow us. And thank you so much. And please give me feedback. Because I guess we're exploring new things and we want to build great content, but we're not we definitely don't have the right answers all the time. This is also our Discord and Discuss QR codes. And this is where we want to keep the conversation going. So we have a Discord server and a Discuss page, I guess. And this is where you can join the conversation if you want to be part of the community. Finally, why is my talk called From GitHub to TikTok? Basically because I guess one of the things that we want is to try to understand the needs of users and developers, and that includes new users who are using TikTok nowadays. And I think that having this information on TikTok, it's very useful. At least, I don't know, I imagine maybe 17-year-old, high school student wanting to learn how to code. And if he finds that information in TikTok, he might actually spend more time on TikTok watching videos about Python than, cats or whatever. I guess finally, we want to expand the channels of communication. And I guess that includes making the information available in as much places as possible and having our website as a central place for this information. And thank you so much for your attention, and I welcome everyone to join our community. This picture we took yesterday on the BOF session, and for me this is a reminder that the Scientific Python project is all of us, and we are doing this for the community. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this really interesting and engaging talk. We have a couple questions on Slack from Dan. This is so cool. I like that this brings the personal vibe of this conference and the community to a wider group of people. What, in your opinion, are the biggest barriers on the path from initial discovery to becoming a contributor?
Can you repeat? Sorry. The biggest barriers?
Yeah, on the path from initial discovery to becoming a contributor.
So I think in my experience, one of the barriers that, users and contributors have is that they are very intimidated about what we do sometimes. So it's not a matter of they can't do it, but they think they can't do it. And I think that's also why my idea of having this content is to sort of make them not be intimidated and try things and make sure that we teach them how to do stuff. But I guess that's the main barrier is the intimidation that people don't want to do it because they think they can't or they think it's very difficult.
Next question is from Aman. How have the different initiatives and social media posts been received by newcomers? And have people engaged and shown interest already?
So yes, in our social network that it's more visible is Twitter. I am actually behind the Twitter right now, and we have a lot of engagement in Twitter from people that I guess right now in the conference, there's a bunch of people posting things, and we do have a lot of engagement. In our YouTube channel, we have a lot of views already especially from the interviews. There's a lot of people watching the interviews. We have a bunch of subscribers. we don't get a lot of comments because sometimes people just click the like button or they subscribe, but they don't comment. So I don't really have like a direct feedback from people. In terms of TikTok and Instagram, those are the ones that I find the hardest because it's very, I mean, there's not a lot of people out there doing what we do that uses social media, but we do have some impact. So one of the, like, several of the TikTok videos already have a lot of views. They don't subscribe, they don't follow, but they have a lot of views. So I'm guessing that's something. People are watching what we're doing. But my honest answer would be, we don't really know. Like, what's the if we're doing it right. We want to know, we want to get feedback, but we don't have a lot of direct feedback from users.
Well, and then I guess if there's anything that we in this room can do, how can we help support this effort?
How can you help? You can subscribe. Yeah, I guess. So my honest request would be, if there's something that you want to see in our website, in our Instagram, in our TikTok, please let us know. Because we're doing this for you, like for the community, for the packages. And I guess what you could do is like take a look at what we have been doing and let us know if we're doing it right. That would be my petition, I guess. If you're a YouTuber secretly, please come to us and help us.